Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to the ranch and welcome back to the channel. You know, I think I'm gonna keep the good morning. It's fitting for this channel. Today we have a lot to do, but we don't exactly know what we can do. That's because, well, the weather. The weather in Texas right now is not making it very easy to do anything outside. I know it looks beautiful out. Look at that. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. The weather says 0% chance of rain today. There is a 50-50 shot that I show you rain in this video because every single day for the last 2 to 3 weeks has been like this. No rain in the forecast. In the middle of the day, it will come a flood. Like I'm talking flash flood type rain. You can see it's very muddy here. And that's why we don't exactly know what we're doing today. We have a huge list of things to do, but really it depends on how the fields look. The road is that muddy, so you can imagine how muddy the fields are. So today we'll probably just be making a whole bunch of work for future Kevin to do, but we're gonna get some things done because, well, it's the ranch and there's always things to do. First order of business. So we have 8 cows in this area. And they went on a field trip yesterday to the vet, and now they're back. Well, now it's time for them to join the rest of the herd. So we're gonna leave the gate open right here, and hopefully they'll find their way into their new giant pasture and get away from this small pasture right here that we used to hold them. Hey, I opened the gate. You can go join all the rest of the cows in that giant field. They have several ponds you can swim in over there. All right, I'm not gonna chase you, but if you come up to the barn, you can go be with them. All right? Come whenever you're ready. Yesterday, I tried to make them go by myself, and me by myself, I'm not gonna be able to move them to that one little gate. So today, we're just gonna let them figure it out on their own, and they'll find their friends eventually. Good morning, Big Green. I hope you're ready. We're gonna do lots of work today. First order of business. I cut a tree up yesterday, but it was too wet to get over there. So today we're gonna go over there and pile it up into a pile so we can burn it when it finally dries out here in Texas. The gate's still open. You're free to go. You don't have to be here anymore. There's bigger ponds out there. All you gotta do is go to the barn and you can go join your friends. Those cows have no idea what's waiting for them. They're just convinced that that's the best pond in the world. We've got way better ponds, way bigger ponds, and you can have more friends. There, that's better. Also, these cows. Look, all you gotta do is go right over there and you can be with all your friends. You'll figure it out. All right, next up on the agenda, this right here. This is a pile of used telephone poles. And we have them because this is how we build our fences. And as you can see, they're used. So they're not completely all usable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort them out, cut off the unusable sections, and we're gonna move all this giant pile to where we store our fence stuff on the other side of that barn. And the rest of it, well, it's gonna go in that burn pile over there. You know, a lot of jobs out here are a lot of back and forth and back and forth. But when you got a John Deere like this, well, sure makes things a lot easier. So the one thing you have to worry about on telephone poles, especially if you don't want to mess up the blade on your brand new chainsaw, is all these have a ground rod or a copper ground wire that runs the length of the pole. So this is going much slower than I thought. I'm having to pull one out at a time, lay it down, roll it over, get the copper wire off. Then we cut it up into 10-foot sections, and we still haven't decided where we're going to put them. We went and scoped it out, but this job slowed way down because there's a lot of them here, and there's a ground wire on every single one of them. So instead of just going through here and cutting up 10-foot sections and picking them up later, now we're having to do it one by one just so we don't ruin our brand new blade. We are making some good headway. This is our pile now. That's all rotten or junk wood. I'm cutting these up in 10-foot sections. Pile them over there. When I have a good pile, I move them to my new pile, which is back there. And this, well, this is my chainsaw actually. This is my Echo 620p. And when I bought this, I went into that store to buy a Stihl because Stihl makes amazing chainsaws. And the salesman actually told me, he goes, look man, Echo makes an amazing chainsaw. And he told me to buy it. He convinced me to buy this because I do like Echo. I like Echo for weed eaters and trimmers and blowers and all that stuff. But I've always used Stihl for chainsaws, and I will say, that thing right there, that is an impressive machine. He told me, look, if you buy the Echo and you don't love it, I'll buy it back from you. Well, he's not getting it back. I'm a fan of these Echo chainsaws. This one is a 65cc motor with a 24-inch blade. It's a good chainsaw, but it's my big one, and I will say, you don't want to hold it any longer than you have to because it does get heavy. I have a much smaller one that I do easy stuff with. This is pretty easy, but we're gonna be cutting some trees down later, and I really want the 24-inch blade, so that's why I have that today. But man, if you guys, you should check out an Echo chainsaw. Thumbs up in my book. Also, these cows still will not come find this wide open gate right here and go be with their friends. I'm gonna leave it open. You're gonna eventually figure it out. You don't have to be here anymore. You have so much freedom out there. You have hundreds and hundreds of acres you could be eating in right now, not this little area. I'm gonna eat some lunch and it's time to get back to work. Well, it's been several hours since I ate lunch and told you guys I'd be right back. This turned into a much bigger job than I thought. I lost y'all. I didn't know where the camera was. I was gonna try to talk to you, couldn't find it. Wasn't in the tractor, it wasn't in the truck. But apparently I was worried about running over it, so I hid it right here next to the disc so I wouldn't run over it. And, well, I just thought I lost it. But we found it. Look at our newly, well, it's not cleaned up. Found some stuff in here I can't really get to today. All the telephone poles are gone. We found a bunch of pipe, T-post, random assortments of metal pieces, but all the telephone poles are either cut up and stacked over there, or they're in the burn piles. I also found this inside of a bush in that pile. It's the grill for a tractor. I called him up. He said that's for a Ford 5000 model tractor. He also said it's for sale, so he told me to take pictures of it and give it to him. So if you need a grill for a Ford 5000 tractor, we got one. Guess who still has not found the open gate? If you guess these front cows, you are correct. Y'all do know there's way greener pastures on their side of the fence. All you gotta do is go right over there and you can have all the pasture you want. Trust me, you'll love it way better than here. Just go right there where I've been working and go see the rest of the place. It's awesome. Maybe they won't figure it out. They literally will not leave. They're actually hanging out over here, the furthest corner from the gate to freedom. Come on, guys. Go right over there. Go. Remember that pile this morning that I stacked up, the pine tree that I need to burn? Well, I added to it. This is all the extra poles and basically the rotten stuff that's not usable, but this pile got a lot bigger. Now, if only it would stop raining long enough to start that, because there's no way that's starting in the next week or so, because look at this. The ground, just from me driving back and forth. Everything is so waterlogged here. I also may have lied to you. I told you it would be rain today. I guess the weatherman is allowed to be right every once in a while. But now the opposite's happening. Now it's no longer pouring rain all the time. Now it's extremely hot and it's very humid. So we complained because it won't stop raining. Now I'm gonna complain a little bit because, well, it's hot out here. It's real hot out here. Makes you really appreciate the AC in that John Deere. And here is our new pile of fence posts. Y'all ready to see what our entire day was for? It was to make this, a usable stack of corner posts. Now some of them aren't perfect, but I kept every one that you could possibly use. Some are borderline, I'm not gonna lie. Some may not make the cut, but we'll decide it in the field. You can see there's some rot in some of these. That's only cut them 10 foot. I tried to use the best 10 foot of every pole. Some poles I got 1 pole, some poles I got 2, and there was a few I got all actually 3 usable sections out of an entire telephone pole. But yeah, telephone poles. I also had time to cut a tree down. So I cut that tree down because it was dead, and every time the storm comes, more of it falls down. So I went ahead and cut it, started piling some of the poles here. This is gonna be our burn pile for this field. So all the stuff you see out here, I'm gonna start picking up and burning right here. We also have another burn pile on that side of the field, so about the middle. We'll take half this way, half that way. That way I'm not driving around and messing these fields up, because like right here, I only drove here a few times. It is so wet. And that's why we mostly stuck with this project up here, because this is the driest place on the whole property. I'm gonna take you guys in a minute to a really wet place. To a place I was at yesterday that I shouldn't have been. And I'm gonna tell you a funny story about how my day went yesterday and what happened when I went somewhere I shouldn't have been going. All right, I'm leaving for a little while. Feel free to escape to the other field while I'm gone. I promise I won't be mad. Welcome to a completely different part of the ranch that I've never taken you to before. I've actually only been here one time, and that was yesterday. This is y'all's first time here. Look at this place. This is also home to another herd that you guys have never met, and I met them for the first time yesterday as well. So I came over here yesterday because the owner wanted me to work on his deer stand, which is right down that road. It's also important to note, you see that road that I drove in on? It's about 3/4 of a mile back to the main road, which runs to our barn. Well, guess what? When I turn on this road, I no longer have cell phone service, and I have no cell phone service back here. That'll come into the story in a little bit. Welcome to the scene of the incident. So why was I here? Well, it was raining and the owner wanted me to come work on his deer stand. You're probably thinking, oh, well, why is he wanting to work on the deer stand in the rain? Well, it's a really, really nice deer stand, and there was a problem with the windows, and with all these storms, the windows kept blowing out, and it's a really nice deer stand, and they didn't want it to get ruined. So he had a new window track kit sent to him, and I was here to install the track kit and make sure the windows stay in it because, like I said, very nice deer stand. They didn't want to ruin it because it's brand new. Y'all ready to see the deer stand? Nice deer stand. Do y'all want to see the deer stand first, or y'all want to hear the story? Let's hear the story, and then I'll show you the deer stand. So I'm here to change out the track kits. Just the little kits that are below it that hold the windows in. They were plastic, and now they're metal. So now they won't blow the windows out with all these storms we're having. The problem is, I cannot change the outside ones. So those, and those, because they're on the outside. So on this side of the deer stand, you have the stairs, so I can get to the outside. But on the front side, there's no way for me to get to the outside without standing on something. And I was like, huh, I have this work truck right here that's got the feeder on it. If I back it up next to it, I can stand on it and change those out. So I backed up right here and did both of those. Good to go. Then I tried to do this side. Well, the ground was pretty wet and I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Guess what? It wasn't fine. It was not fine at all. So there's my tracks from where I got stuck. So I backed up, or I pulled forward right here. The front end sunk right there. And then when I went to back out to try to get out of it, it slid sideways and I got the truck stuck against the side of the deer stand. So the feeder that hangs off the flatbed was actually stuck inside here. So I couldn't go forward reverse anymore. But I was already stuck in my predicament. So I went ahead and finished the job on the deer stand. And then that's when yesterday's events started. Because right here where I'm standing, this very spot where the deer stand is, I am the furthest point on the property from the barn. The barn that has the John Deere tractor in it that I need to try to get this thing from being stuck. I told you I have no cell phone service, which means I can't look at my GPS, I can't phone a friend, I can't do anything. So I start walking down this road, right? And down there is where we came into the gate. But in my mind, the barn is, so that's where we came in. The barn is that way, directly that way. Well, when you get down there, there's a road that goes that way, and that's the rest of the property. All their property touches each other. We just take roads because it's easier, because the fields are wet and they're a little rough. So I start walking. And I walk, and I walk, and I walk. And I walk some more. Came to a creek in the middle of the fields. And I was like, okay, I know where I am because I've seen the creek from the other side of the property. One thing though, it's been raining. So I cannot cross this creek. I go down to the creek, it's too deep for me to cross. So I spend, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes walking up and down the creek looking for a spot I can potentially cross. I have no GPS signal, so I cannot pull the phone out to see if there's a better spot from the satellite view. I can't phone him to find out if there's a way to actually cross. And after going ahead and accepting the fact that I've made poor choices in life, I have to walk back to here, to the gate, to the road. My little field trip of trying to take the shortcut, because whenever I came here, I do a squared plus b squared. So my thing was, I'm doing c squared back to the barn, you know? The Pythagorean theorem for all you math people. Well, when I tried to do my c squared, I had to stop and come back. So my little field trip of trying to take a shortcut cost me 1.6 miles. So I've already walked 1.6 miles and I haven't got anywhere but right back here again. So I have to swallow my pride, do the walk of shame, and I start walking down that road. And then I walk down that road, and I walk down that road, and walk down that road. And I finally get to the gate of our barn, and I walk down that road to the barn, and I get the John Deere. Guess how long of a walk it is from this gate to the barn? It is 2.5 miles. So I walked a little over 4 miles yesterday so I could get a John Deere tractor and bring it back down here to get that truck unstuck. And the whole time I'm doing this, it's raining. It stopped raining by the time I got back, but the whole walk was basically in the rain. So not only am I walking, I'm walking in the rain. Also found out that these water resistant boots are not waterproof, because at some point I started to feel like I was so I'm walking in the rain with wet boots, and I'm stuck and I'm by myself and I have no cell phone service. And I didn't film yesterday because, well, it was raining and I was planning on filming a video, but the rain messes it up because I don't want to film in the rain because it gets in the microphone. It makes it, it's one of those things. It's not very fun to film in the rain. You guys may not enjoy it. So I didn't bring the camera. Well, the whole time I was walking, I was like, this would be a great video because it's funny now. It's fun. It's hilarious now. Was not so funny in the moment. But as I was walking, I was like, man, if I had the camera, I could be like reporting in mile 1, mile 2, mile 3. Because I had a lot of time while I was walking to reflect on the decisions that I made that day that led me to that position that I was in. I tried to rush a job that I knew potentially could be too wet, which caused me to get stuck. And then I tried to take a shortcut across the field, which cost me 1.5 miles and about 40 minutes of walking God knows where on this property. I still don't know where I was because I never saw the barn, but I feel like I was close. And then I had to walk the walk of shame all the way back to the barn. Now I have a tractor and a truck down here, which means, you guessed it, I've got to make the walk twice. I've got to take the truck back and then walk back down here and get the tractor. So after I get the truck unstuck, I decide to go ahead and take care of the job I was supposed to do down here after I fixed the deer stand, which was to go cut up a tree that was across the road and see if I could just move it out of the way. So I did that since the tractor was already here. And then I decided I'm gonna go take the truck to where I have cell phone and see if I can call somebody, phone a friend, anyone to come ride with me back out here so I don't have to make the walk twice. As I got closer to cell phone service, there was a gentleman riding a Polaris out here just checking out the storm damage. And we had a talk and I said, do you mind following me back to myself? So he followed me up to our barn and then he rode me back all the way here. So I was fortunate enough that I did not have to make the walk twice. But yesterday I walked 4 miles in the rain, and it's because I came to a part of the property that you should never come to when it's raining. And you can see this, there's water everywhere. This road is actually elevated. That's basically a bottom, and that's also a bottom, which is why they hunt deer over here. So, do y'all want to see the awesome deer stand, which was the cause of all this to begin with? Just to come over here and fix this deer stand. You guys are gonna enjoy this. This is a super sweet deer stand. Also, I've made booby traps right here. So whenever it finally does dry out, I have to come back over here and fix this so that someone this winter when they're hunting doesn't fall off in the Grand Canyon here and, you know, break their ankle or something where there's no cell phone service, because then they'd have to hobble their way back to the barn. So anyway, here's the deer stand. Ooh-wee. It is warm in here. But here it is. Let's open some windows. Look at that. Window tracking. Windows not falling out. So yeah, this is the deer stand. Super nice, covered in marine carpet. It's got an awesome floor. It's got 2 desk chairs, which I think they just added. But look at that, looking right out there at the feeder. There's the old deer stand. This is the new deer stand. It's got a little solar power generator. It's got a light, and I believe they have a fan in here. But yeah, this thing is really nice. They also have a cot, so obviously someone's spending some extra time out here. I was telling my father-in-law about this, and he was like, man, that's my kind of deer stand right there. You can get naps, you can shoot some deer, get some peace and quiet, you're way up high. It's like they got lights and everything, man. But yeah, here it is, the deer stand. Now, let's go check on the other part of the property. That pond right there, that pond looks real fishy. I cannot wait to bring my fishing poles down here and find out what lives in these ponds. There's been some ponds out here that looked real good. And he said no one's fished these ponds in years. So I know pond fish. If you're the first one to throw a lure in a long time, you were gonna tear them up. All right, right there. That's the tree that fell across this road right here. And one of the jobs I was doing when I was over here, I was actually not planning on moving. I was planning on just cutting it up because, well, it's super wet and we don't want to bring the tractor over here. But you can see the road was blocked, so we've been driving over here. Well, that's become a disaster. And we were convinced that one day we're gonna get stuck right here, and that's not gonna be ideal, so we need to get the road cleared up. Well, since I was already stuck here and I had the tractor, I went ahead and cut it up and pushed it off. Also, there is the herd for this field. Let's go visit them. That tree also fell, so I pushed it off the road while I had the tractor here as well. But yeah, every time it rains, we have tons of trees on the ground. We could literally start fires non-stop around here. It's been a very, very wet year. And the thing, some people thought it was gonna be a drought year. Remember me from yesterday? Yeah, I'm the guy that walked through here. And y'all probably should have told me I can't get across the creek. But I'm back, and I'm talking to a camera. I'm the guy with the camera. Yep. Anyway, just want to let you know, I got the truck out, I got the tractor out. Thanks for checking on me. Y'all go back to doing cow stuff. You know, driving right now is way more peaceful than it was yesterday when I had to make this walk. It really is beautiful out here. Not so awesome when you're walking in the rain, but still, I love being out here. Welcome to another road that we come down to check on the property. So this right here is the field by the barn. So the barn is just their side of that hill. This is where I was working several videos ago, way over there, when I was burning all the fires. And you guys saw the first time I had to make the walk of shame, but that wasn't really the walk of shame. It's because I was working down there and I had the truck with all my tools and I needed the tractor to do other work. Don't worry, I'm working on a way where I can bring my tools in the tractor. That way I can leave the truck there. And well, it's hard to get the tractor stuck. It's easy to get the truck stuck. But I'm gonna have to turn around and back out of here because I came to check on the fence right here. And this is the road that washed out. And right now it looks like you're asking to be stuck if you drive through that right now, because they just fixed this. The equipment's still here. And I can tell you right now, if the Polaris that's been driving through here is leaving those kind of tracks, we would probably get stuck. But I wanted to check our fence because when the road washed out, I'll insert the clip right now of this culvert being down there. So just like 3 days ago before the rain, we could drive across here. Right now, not so much. The whole road is gone. That's supposed to be down there. Anyway, when it washed out, I had to come fix this because, well, these are our cows. You can see them way down there. That's another herd of ours. Well, they could just walk right out once they fix this. So I repaired that and I wanted to come see if it was still holding strong, since every time it rains, this becomes, well, this becomes very crazy right here. So much so that the road disappeared one time. I also wanted to come check on these cows, but obviously, since I can't drive through here, I'm just gonna have to trust that they're there because, well, they're way over there. I can see them, but can't get to them. Well, technically I can. If I do a giant drive, like a 6-mile drive around, I can get to it over there. But there's been no reports of cows being out, and the neighbors around here are usually pretty good about letting us know if anybody's not where they're supposed to be. But there's another one of our herds. And then, of course, we had the barn herd that's up there. Well, they're not by the barn, but they're in the barn herd pasture. It's amazing. I've been here for several weeks. I've taken you guys to so many places. And would you believe me if I said there's more places I haven't shown you than places I have shown you? There's places that I have yet to see on this place. There's places all back there that I've never even, I don't even know how to get to them yet. He shows me on the map, says one day I'll take you over there. There's no cows on them right now, which is mostly why we don't go there often. But he says there's so much land that I still haven't seen here. And that's amazing because this place, it's not boring. It's never boring because every day I get to see something new. Now, I have to back all the way out because, well, I can't turn around here. So I have to back all the way back out to the barn. This is a really long road. And well, this GMC turns even worse than my Ford. You cannot turn this thing around anywhere. Like, you have to have a driveway. You do about a 47-point turn. So we are stuck doing the back of shame all the way. It's probably half a mile, but I had to come look. I had to come see if the road was good and if the fence was still good right there at the creek. Oh, hey guys, guess what? Still backing up, but at least I can see the barn. I can also see that those cows are still in that pasture. I don't know what's wrong with these cows. They're gonna have to figure it out. I'll give it to y'all. Y'all are the most trustworthy cows that someone could own. The gate's been open all day and you guys refuse to escape. Even though I want you to, you just won't escape. You'll just stay right there in your pond, eating your grass and doing what you're supposed to do. But I'm gonna leave the gate open all night and I want you to escape. I want you to go see the other parts of this property. Go be free, go explore, go meet the other herd. There's a whole herd waiting for you. The grass is actually greener on the other side. You just have to want to go get it. All right? Good talk. Next time I see you, I hope you're not here. I hope you're with all your friends. The barn herd, you can see them. They're way down there. That's the barn herd. This is their area. This is the herd I want those cows to come be with. But they're down there and they're up here. The gate on the other side of the barn is wide open. They can come and go as they want. So I'm leaving it open tonight, and our hope is that when that herd comes up here, they'll see that the gate is open. They'll go in there, they'll get bored with that, and when they leave, they'll bring their new friends with them. Or by some miracle, you guys come over here and realize the gate's open and you just go be free. Man, it really is beautiful here in the evening. Good night, big horse. We had a good day. Man, what a great day. We got to do some John Deere driving. We went and checked on the cows, got to hang out on the land. I really do love this job, and I really don't know how I went so long without a John Deere in my life. It's the most useful thing in the world. Like, I find reasons to use it now. Also, it's getting super hot and I really enjoy the AC, and I love the radio. Get in there, jam out, get some work done. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed another day of ranching with me. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.